It's possible that the bull market will continue. There will be a great deal of información que descenderá to inde verdad a investigar. In addition to that, we are going to discuss Ripple XRP as well as some brand new information and developments that we are going to discuss. With Tony Edwards saying, "Pump it to the moon, let's just get in here and get started." The settlement of the trade war between the United States and China. Based on the current situation, it appears that China and Scott Bessent have reached a consensus in which we will not be subject to these absurd tariffs. Before we declare victory, we will continue to wait for some additional facts regarding this transaction. On the other hand, it appears like there is some kind of resolution here, which might ultimately be very beneficial for the markets. The government of the United States reopens. Both parties have not yet gotten together to discuss the situation and figure out what has to be done. With any luck, it will go place very soon, and we will be able to proceed with our plans. The Fed is continuing to reduce interest rates. When the Federal Reserve meets in just a few days, it is highly likely that we will receive a 0.25 percentage point reduction in the interest rate. The Clarity Act is considered successful by the Senate. Additionally, we have some additional information, and it is possible that we may have some kind of draft markup of this before Thanksgiving. With any luck, we will be able to finish it before everyone starts their Christmas vacation. Who can say for sure? All exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are approved by the SEC. Due to the fact that the government is presently closed, we are still waiting for your response. Dan Moorhead, a billionaire who works for Pantera Capital, asserts that China is getting ready to purchase 1 million Bitcoin. Give me a chance to play this, and I'll discuss my thoughts with you here. I would advise that, at the very least, you should begin with Bitcoin. I believe that it is quite evident that the countries who are hostile to the United States will eventually purchase Bitcoin and possibly other currency. And so, I believe that there is going to be a race to the top of the arms race, right? Also, there will be a strategic mineshaft gap, much like in the movie Dr. Strangelove, right? As if it's going to be a real competition. In addition, you are aware that there are only 21 million. And if a large number of individuals all want to purchase 1 million with their own money, then there won't be enough to go around, right? When it comes to the matter at hand, the reason I am so optimistic is that there is just not enough Bitcoin to fulfill the requirements of the country. Somewhat at random, I believe that the United States of America owns 200,000 Bitcoins that were confiscated. In addition, I believe that China has roughly the same. That's right, and China has something very similar. In other words, it is not an issue to see them wanting to purchase 1 million Bitcoins. I mean, this is still a very small amount when compared to their budgets, balance sheets, and everything else that they have. As a result, if you have 2, 3, or 4, for example, if the general corporation wants to purchase 1 million, China wants to buy 1 million, or perhaps Russia wants to buy some, you ask, is it going to squeeze up like a watermelon seed? To put it simply, it is the opinion that they have on Bitcoin. It is quite unfortunate that we are going to adopt this digital store of wealth when we believe that this is the way things will be in the future. If you are merely attempting to protect yourself from the effects of inflation, that's probably fantastic. But when you're talking about the future of the financial system, Bitcoin isn't the thing you're concerned about, is it? We are aware that we have moved a significant distance away from that. We are moving on to more significant and advantageous items such as XRP and Chainlink. My prediction is that those two aspects of the future will be intertwined with a significant amount of the activities that these financial institutions are carrying out. There are some remarks made by Mason Rosales regarding the fact that Ripple is making history. Give me a moment to play it, and then I will provide you with my feedback. A significant piece of breaking news for Ripple and XRP. Cryptocurrency history has just been created by Ripple. Once again, however, as we are all aware, Ripple has been purchasing and acquiring a large number of various businesses. However, the acquisition of Hidden Road has now been finalized, and as a result, Ripple is the first cryptocurrency company in history to own and manage a global multi-asset prime broker. That would be comparable to a company such as Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley. Therefore, at this point, Ripple is comparable to Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs in many respects. It is true they have changed the name of the company that they purchased to Ripple Prime, which is a brand new product. All right, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan are not synonymous with Ripple. At this point, they are not a national bank. To put it another way, they are lacking a number of essential components that would allow them to compete at that level. In the present moment, the prime brokerage is an essential component that assists them in competing at that level. However, they have not yet reached that level. In this case, let's be extremely clear. In this very moment, words do truly matter, and I think that what he is saying is a little bit off of the mark here. The prime Ripple. They explain that this is the next logical step right here at this very moment. The underlying digital asset infrastructure that Ripple has developed, which includes payments, cryptocurrency, custody, and stable coins, in addition to the utilization of XRP. You know, XRP holders are frequently made fun of for believing that things that are beneficial to Ripple are also beneficial to XRP. However, the prediction that you are making when you become an XRP holder is that Ripple will one day require all of its customers and partners to use XRP, and it will be a no-brainer for you to use XRP. Wait, are they going to force all of their clients to use XRP? There is no way that Ripple will ever force anyone to take any action. The solutions that Ripple offers are ones that financial institutions are actively considering implementing in order to support either settlement or whatever it is, on-demand liquidity, also known as RLSD. The majority of the financial options, concepts, and tools that Ripple offers to financial institutions make use of XRP. Ripple is not going to coerce anyone into doing anything, despite the fact that there are a variety of use cases surrounding it. There is no ambiguity about that. It is stated unequivocally that the utilization of XRP will supplement the services that are provided by Ripple Prime. Oh, in the end, this may be considered a bullish announcement. XRP is currently in what I refer to as the numb news stage, which is a situation in which there is no positive news that causes the price to increase and no negative news that causes the price to decrease. As a result, I do not believe that the price will change. In all honesty, it doesn't even. All right, so, I guess we can agree to differ on a few topics here. The fact that Ripple was able to successfully complete the acquisition of Hidden Road is a significant piece of news, and we will have to wait and see what the future holds. I believe that it will improve. Uphold is the first major cryptocurrency platform to bring genuine US dollars on chain. These American dollars are issued by a bank that is chartered on a national level and are supported by the robust consumer protections and financial system in the United States. The article discusses significant actions that have been taken by Uphold as well as the cryptocurrency sector itself. Uphold, in collaboration with VAS Bank and USBC Inc., is introducing actual US dollars on the blockchain in the form of tokenized bank deposits. These deposits will be issued and managed by a US bank that is chartered on a national level. These digital dollars will be made available to Uphold customers all over the world. They will provide the same consumer protections as standard U.S. bank accounts, such as eligibility for FDIC insurance and compliance with Regulation E. This is in contrast to traditional stablecoins, which are typically issued by fintech companies with less stringent oversight and protection. Your question is, why is this a bullish sign for Uphold? Uphold is the first major cryptocurrency platform to offer genuine regulated US dollar deposits on chain to its global audience. The XRP audience does utilize Uphold quite a bit.